What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL video with your boy. Drop a like down below because I already know you're going to love it. Subscribe to the channel, comment anything in the comment section down below. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Sorry we did not have a video all of last week for NBA or NFL. I traveled to Atlanta for Thanksgiving. It was my first time my son going on an airplane. It was the first time for my son to meet some family out there. So I definitely, while I was out there, outside of, building the lines and stuff as normal for NBA and studying NFL, I kind of took the week off for videos just to kind of, be a little more present than normal. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me, though. I'm excited about this Monday night game against Pittsburgh and the Colts. This is a good one. I have a good vibe, good feel on this one. So we're going to kind of go through real quick, break down the slate. And I'm going to put my three core players that I really like so far that I'm trying to make sure I get in. And then as the day goes on, obviously, things might adjust. I'm going to be spending all day trying to, you know, get this perfect. But we'll get it. Greenlightdfs.com. Join the squad. If you weren't joined for the squad for week 12 and did not play with us, you can grab week 13 right now and get Monday Night Showdown included. All right? So let's get straight into it. Now, starting off with the captain spot. Now, I've played with a bunch of different versions. Obviously, you can always go with Jonathan Taylor. Um, you can always go with like a Najee, Kenny Pickett, Michael Pittman, all these top guys right here. All these guys right here are going to be heavily involved in the game. Matt Ryan, Pittman, Pickett, Harris, Taylor, all interesting. Now, one thing that's really interesting to me is there's a value-ish guy at captain that if you put at captain really opens up a lot of things. So I'm going to get a little sneaky possibly here. I'm not sure how sneaky it ends up being, but the builds I've made so far for this game, I've liked the most having Pat Fryermuth at captain. That might sound crazy, but Fryermuth got over 30% target share in this last week's game. The week before that, over 26. So Kenny Pickett is really targeting Pat heavily here. Okay? Fryermuth is getting targeted crazy. That over 30% target share for Pat last week is wild. Okay? And Pittsburgh's expected to be behind here in a dome throwing the ball. So Pat Fryermuth is going to be my captain. And as you can see, you get him at captain at 9.6. That price tag for a guy who's going to get elite level targets playing from behind at captain really opens up you being able to get the other studs in this game you like a Jonathan Taylor. Now, I'm kind of on the fence here still. I'm going to spend the whole day, so it's kind of an early-ish look on this game. I'm siding with Jonathan Taylor because Jonathan Taylor, plain and simple, is the biggest offensive player on this team, and I don't really need any money. So Jonathan Taylor is going to be the main guy here, obviously. He's going to get the 20-plus carries. And another little tidbit that I saw is that Pittsburgh, over the last 4 weeks, has given up the most touchdowns through the air to running back. So I would not be surprised to see Jonathan Taylor kind of have some success with little dump offs here from Matt Ryan. We know the Colts like to throw the ball to their running backs, so Jonathan Taylor's very interesting here. And also, it's just a spot at the end of the day. Jonathan Taylor's going to be out there for a ton of snaps, and he's going to get every running back carry pretty much. So I mean, the spot is beautiful for Jonathan Taylor, especially in a favored spot in a dome. I love Jonathan Taylor. Now, obviously, my debate, as you guys probably know, is between Jonathan Taylor and Michael Pittman Jr. Choosing between those two guys. Michael Pittman's just at that price where it's been a little bit difficult. There's been some spots where it's like it comes down to like, do you want Pittman? Do you want Matt Ryan? Do you want Pittman? Do you want Pickett? Do you want Pittman? Do you want Harris? You know what I mean? And it is tough. Now, I sided with Taylor and I sided with the way that I'm going on this slate here, and I'm going to go ahead and put my last guy in here because at the end of the day, the Colts lately have kind of been spreading the ball around a little bit. Alec Pierce had over a 25% target share last week. It's the target. Sorry if you hear my son in the background. He's playing in his little jumper thing. But um, the Colts are kind of spreading the ball out a little bit more as of late. As you guys know, early on in the year, Pittman was getting 30% plus targets. Now it's kind of split up. Pierce, I'm blanking on the other dude's name for some reason. He's right here. Paris Campbell. These guys are kind of getting the ball split around, and then with Jonathan Taylor back, he's also getting dump offs. He's also going to get 20 something carries, so that takes away from throwing plays in general because they're going to run the ball heavier with Jonathan Taylor healthy. So with that being said, that's why I didn't side Pittman in the core. I would love to find a way to get Pittman in because Steelers secondary is dreadful. There's no way they're going to be able to stop these Colts guys. Okay, so I love Pittman. I love Matt Ryan. I think Colts are going to have a ton of success through the air and on the ground. I think the Colts are going to be able to do pretty much whatever they feel like doing here in this one. Obviously, it's trusting in Matt Ryan, but and which is why I'm citing Jonathan Taylor as my Colts player because I feel really confident and safe that Taylor's going to get that 20 to 25 carries. He's going to get around 80 to 100 yards, probably get in the end zone and get some extra addition in the pass game. So I like Jonathan Taylor a lot. On the other side, on the Pittsburgh side, Najee Harris is kind of what I'm siding with here. He's 9-4. In the core, you could easily switch Najee out for like Kenny Pickett playing from behind or whatever. I'm going Najee because he has a decent target share in the offense on top of he's going to get all the carries. So plain and simple, just the opportunity is super strong here with this one. The Colts defense isn't a super slouch or anything like that, but with them playing from behind, you're going to see more dump offs to Najee as well with Kenny Pickett at quarterback. Kind of, the rookie kind of likes those little short passes. So he's going to target Pat. He's going to target Najee a ton. And I really like this spot for Najee at 9-4. I think it's too cheap for a guy heavily involved, like a big piece of the Steeler offense. So I do like Najee. As you guys know, I only put 3 guys in the core, so I really got to choose like between 3 guys. You know what I mean? So as the rest of the lineup comes in, I might throw in a Kenny, I might throw in a Matt Ryan, I might throw in a Deontay Johnson, stuff like that. But I really just want to get you guys a core, get you guys started, and then we'll talk about these other plays. So Kenny Pickett, yes, absolutely love at 9-8, playing from behind. Positive game script for him, especially when you have Pat Fryermuth at captain. It's good to pair him up with Kenny Pickett because if Fryermuth has a good game, Pickett probably connected with him many times, probably most times had a good game too. As you guys know, it's full point PPR on DraftKings, so not necessarily doesn't mean if Fairmuth goes for 20 that Pickett had a big game. Pickett could throw for only like one touchdown and 150 yards, and Fairmuth be a big part of that and outscore Pickett by a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah, Michael Pittman Jr. I talked about that a minute ago. I'm citing Taylor in the core. My favorite lineup so far, and it does scare me a little bit, have not had Pittman. My reasoning on my favorite lineups not having Pittman is just solely on the fact that they've been spreading the ball around, and Pierce and the other dude getting some solid targets in the offense, kind of taking a little bit away from Pittman. Whereas Jonathan Taylor's still going to get that heavy dosage no matter what. So I've had to choose between the two most times. And so if I have to choose, I'm going Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan's a fantastic play in a dome, at home, in a dome, especially if you go the Pittman route. Like if you don't want the run game, get off Jonathan Taylor, put Pittman, throw in Matt Ryan. Fantastic. I like Matt Ryan no matter what, though. He's 200 cheaper than Kenny Pickett, and he's at home in his dome. So I love Matt Ryan a lot. Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson's a fine option as well with this game script. They're going to be playing from behind, so he's going to get some targets here. I prefer Pat Fryermuth if I have to choose between the two because he's getting 30-something% of the target share. And because Pat's getting so heavily targeted, it's hurting Deontay a little bit. But Deontay is definitely a guy that could have some success. George Pickens. I love the pass game of Pittsburgh for sure. That's why I like Najee. He's going to get involved in the pass game. He's also going to get those plays on the ground as well, so he's just going to get heavily involved in multiple ways in this game. So yeah, I really like the pass game for Pittsburgh on that side. So and all those guys are definitely in play for me. I'm not interested in either defense. Both kickers are in play in a dome, as always. You always can use either kicker. So Matthew Wright, Chase McLaughlin, you can use either of these guys. I'm citing Chase as being the home kicker at home. Home kicker in his dome. It's perfectly fine for me. So Alec Pierce is one of the cheaper guys that I'm down to use. I do like Alec Pierce at 5.2. Like I said, that 26% target share that he had last week was really good. And if he continues that, and especially against this bad Pittsburgh secondary, I talked about how bad the Pittsburgh secondary is. If you don't have like a way to get involved in that and not have to pay the Pittman price would be going Alec Pierce at 5.2. And if he continues to get even a 20% target share, I mean, he should hit value at 5.2, especially against that bad Pittsburgh secondary. So he's definitely interesting to me. So let's talk value. Let's talk Like Steven Sims at 200 is super interesting to me. He's only 200. He grades out as the best value on the slate for me if you're just punting a spot. A lot of times in Showdown, as you guys know, if you've played with Greenlight DFS, one of my strategies I most times will use is I'll spend a lot of my time throughout the day on value, because getting that right 200, 400, even 1,000 player right can really make a huge difference. Because if you have a $200 player in your lineup, most likely you have almost every stud in your lineup, and as long as those studs do what they're supposed to do, um, if that value guy goes off, you're getting takedown zone. So like Steven Sims is a guy that I'm really interested in. If he can get in the end zone here at 200, you're in takedown watch immediately, especially with the other potential you have going Pat Fryermuth at captain as well. It really opens a lot up. So Steven Sims Jr. has been my favorite value at 200. I really like him. Austin Doolin, another Colts receiver at only 400 against that bad Pittsburgh secondary. He's not going to get a ton of runs. Same with Sims. But really, we're just looking for that outlier possible touchdown catch, and that's going to make the difference. Even at this price, I mean, even one catch for 5 yards is fine. You know what I mean? You don't need much out of these. That's why a lot of times in my strategy, I'll be like, okay, you know, if you, I really focus on these value guys, and it's very important to get these guys right if you can, because a lot of times I've cashed a million times having a 200 guy get zero, and it didn't even really matter. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. So Steven Sims, fantastic. Doolin's fine. That's about it, though, when it comes to the value. Those two guys are my favorite options. So to kind of sum it up, on the Pittsburgh side, I want the pass game. I want the main guys getting the targets. I like Pat Fryermuth right now early on as a sneaky captain option. He's only 9.6, allows you to get some other studs. Paired with a possible like cheap value guy, you can get pretty much anybody you want in this game. So Pat Fryermuth is my main go-to guy. Jonathan Taylor on the other side for the Colts. He is the main guy on this Colts offense. He gets targeted in the pass game, little dump-offs by Matt Ryan, and that's a great spot as well, because not only is he going to get the 20 to 25 carries, but like I said, that little stat I gave you earlier, over the last 4 weeks, Pittsburgh's given up the most touchdowns through the air to running back. So I would not be surprised to see Taylor get in the end zone through pass play. All right, on top of him getting his normal heavy carries, 100-yard bonus, all that good stuff. So Jonathan Taylor is my main core guy, especially in cash games. He's pretty damn safe to me. And like I said, with some of the value we have, I haven't struggled money-wise. So if I have to choose between Jonathan Taylor and Pittman, it's Taylor right now. Najee Harris on the Pittsburgh side. I mean, when it comes to the core, if Najee Harris could be Kenny Pickett. Najee Harris could be Matt Ryan. I mean, any of those guys. I like all these guys really, really closely to each other. I'm citing Najee just based off of how much usage he should have here at only 9.4. He's going to get involved in the pass game. He's going to get all of the carries pretty much. So Najee's just going to get a heavy workload here. And if he gets in the end zone, once, maybe twice would be fantastic. On top of the little dump off catches he's going to get as well, Najee should be a solid contributor today. Now, the crazy part is I don't really see any of these guys going like outside of like a Jonathan Taylor, which is another reason I love Jonathan Taylor, because his upside is huge. I don't see any of these guys going for like that 30 something. I mean, if you think about it, there are a couple guys that could do that, and they're both on the Colts side that I feel like the most. I mean, the chances are the highest on the Colts side, Taylor and Pittman. Either one of these guys could go in those 30 ranges. So I like both those guys, and I would definitely encourage you to have one at least. Um, and Jonathan Taylor's the safest of the bunch. All right, so that's about it. Good luck, everybody. GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad. Remember, if you didn't have Week 12, you can join Week 13. Get Monday Night Showdown included. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Let's kill NBA tonight as well. And I will talk to y'all next time. Peace.